Well, that's correct. This is my version of a very old parable called the Two Monks. This is called the Two Monks from Cavan. There were these two monks from Cavan, and they were carrying up some offerings up a mountain. The mountain was very big and very old, and at the top of the mountain there was a place of worship, and the place of worship was very old indeed, older even than Christianity itself. Now I need to explain to you about the Benedictine habits of the monks of Cavan, particularly this very old and very odd sect. You see, they had an extra peculiarity in regards to their humble, ascetic lives. These monks, on top of their vows of celibacy, and their vows of poverty, and their vows of obedience, had the vow to never even touch a woman. Well, this particular day in which the monks traversed the mountain, the Cavan countryside was the victim of a fierce battering rain. Sorry boys, I'm shaking. She was absolutely bucketing. About a quarter of the way up the mountain, you come across a bit of a stream that had to be crossed over. Normally, if you were wearing a skirt or your robes, you had to hike them up to avoid the water, but not too high, for the water wasn't that deep. Sure look though, with the day that was in it, and the strength of the weather, wasn't the wee stream flooded. The water would have been up to your chest and you'd need a good pair of wellies to get by, was keeping the feet dry. On this particular day, at the foot of the stream, there was a pretty young woman, and the pretty young woman was nearly in hysterics. "Oh, thank goodness," she cries, "oh, thank goodness. Sure lads, it's yourself. Man, here's the crack. I'm in a terrible state of bother, and I have to get past this river. For I have a sick child on the other side, and a husband nearly done with the day's chores, and a mother with dizzy spells, and a granddad who drinks himself flat on the floor, and a boyfriend who needs sneaking out the window, and a girlfriend who eyes up my husband, and a landlord who charges much too much rent, and a dog that picks out of the bins. And I've still yet to put on my spots. For fuck's sake. The stream is too high and the water too strong, and if I try to cross the pond myself, sure I'd only be dragged away and drowned. Would you want to use strong men? Give us a wee hand across there." Well, the two monks listened patiently to this young lady's dire plea, and the first monk stepped forward to apologise and explain the crack with the vow, and how sorry he was he couldn't help her on her way, but would wish her all the well in the finding the safe passage through the ford. Before he could even get the words out though, the other monk comes up behind him, gives him a big smack on the shoulder and goes, "Ah, sure Jesus, we can give you out a hand. Come here to me and get up upon my shoulders, and we'll help you get on over." So come here to him she went, and got up upon his shoulders, and even though the water rose now up to his chin, the monk got her across the stream safe and sound, and got on with wringing out his robes. She thanked him dearly, and said she'd leave up a nice offering to the place of worship after she'd the supper cleared. Following in behind came the other monk, soaked from head to toe, and wasn't he not carrying a big and furrowed brow, for he was none too impressed with the preceding events. The monk who had carried the woman turned around and said, "Right on," but the angry monk was speechless. He couldn't believe it. He stood there slack-jawed and stopping wet. An hour passed without a word passing between the monks, and then another hour passed, and another, before the angry monk finally burst out in anger. "Hey sir, that's not on. Why do you carry your doll across the stream when you know we've taken vows to never lay a hand on one? You shouldn't be out." Well, the other monk takes a second before he turns back to your man, and very calmly he replies, "Sir, I put her down on the other side of the river. You're still carrying her. Thank you so much for having me."